I have this problem. A lot of people don't view it as a problem, but I do. I have almost every day of my life for the last 11 years documented in some way, in some capacity. Hours of film, hundreds of thousands of photos, each one of them pulling on me. I feel like it's helped me become more self-aware. When I was younger, I was always really fascinated by my grandma's photograph collection. We would spend hours just looking at the same albums, but she always had different stories. And I thought someday I'm gonna get a camera and I'm gonna do that so I can explain this to people. I don't know what happened to those photographs. She passed away a couple years ago, and the family kind of just took what they wanted, and I'll never see those albums again. The memories are etched in my head no matter what I do. I've taken it to an extreme though. You know, I don't just film summer. I don't only document the important things. I document the most minute, boring aspects of my life sometimes because my camera is like a friend of mine. And if we don't talk, if I don't communicate with my camera, then I feel like I'm not doing my part. It's become such a big part of my life that it's almost like the quintessential aspect about me. It started in 2004 when a girl I was dating bought me a camera. I haven't talked to that girl in years, and she thinks I'm the biggest piece of shit on earth. And that's fine. That's really fine. But I wonder, when I look back at all these days, I look back at all these ghosts, people that I used to know, who are they now? What have they become? The cruelest part of a memory is it doesn't matter how well it's documented. I have days that I've taken 5,000-6,000 photos, and I know my memory is flawed from the situation. It's idealized. It's turned into something that it's not really, because you don't really think about the bad things when you look at a photograph, when you look at a video. You see the best aspects of a human being that you remember. And at one time I thought that's what made photography and videography beautiful, is it takes away all your criticisms. And you're just left with this idealized version of the truth. You don't remember how unhappy some people made you feel. Maybe you do, but not nearly as much as you remember the nice things. Not nearly as much as you remember chicken noodle soup in bed or the late night park visit. I guess I don't really consider myself a photographer or a videographer. I just try to capture memories the way that I want to remember them. I don't want to leave the world or leave a situation bitter. That's the most negative word in the world to me. Because if you're bitter, then you haven't really learned anything. And the only thing that I've learned is that sometimes it's okay to idealize things, because if you don't, then it's just too damn sad. I've made more mistakes in my life than I can keep count of. I am a constant fuck up, and my photographs do remind me of that. I'm in no shortage of criticisms about myself. I look at old photos and all I really want to do is apologize to the people that I've wronged. But the truth is, apologies don't really mean shit. They don't really change anything. And that's not saying that I would do it over or I wouldn't do it over. Some things I would and some things I wouldn't. But everybody that's played a role in my life is important, and I am finally getting to a point that I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable enough to admit their importance to me, even if they've long forgot about my importance to them. That's my burden to carry as someone that documents life. Documents my life anyway. I miss being a kid, and I miss all the little things that used to make me happy that could never make me happy again. But at the same time, I look at all these old photographs and I wonder, what's my life going to look like in 10 years? What's my life going to look like in 10 days? I get so fucking afraid sometimes that I'm just a permanent fuck up, and anybody that gets close to me is going to be burned. And I never intentionally do it, but it seems like so many people that have been important to me in the past have nothing but bad things to say about me now. But you live and you learn, and if you don't, then you're not doing it right. I'm in love with life, and I'm in love with experience, and I'm in love with learning and becoming a better man. And I never realized that before. I made the same mistakes over and over and over again, just thinking that it was going to yield some kind of different result that never happened. I'm not going to make the same mistakes again. I have a whole mountain of evidence. I'm not a kid anymore. I'll be 24 years old next month. It feels like just yesterday that a girl bought me a camera and I made her a promise that I wouldn't stop, that I'd work and get good. And that's one promise I was able to keep. It's weird how that works, how something that starts off as a hobby becomes one of the only things you have that you can really rely on. One of the only things you have that nobody can take from you. The truth is, you could take away every single photograph. You could burn every single video that I've ever made, throw it into a bonfire, and its existence would not be there anymore. And it wouldn't matter because it's still in my head. That idealized version of the truth. There's no such thing as truth. Everybody has a different brand of it. Everybody sees things differently. It's relative. I would do anything to just be able to sit and listen to my grandmother talk about her photographs again. And I can't do that. I'd love to go have dinner with a girl I dated when I was 15. Not in any romantic capacity, just to see how they were doing. I'd love to play Madden with kids I hung out with in high school. Things that I'll never do again that I took for granted all the years that they were there. They gotta walk away scot-free. Nothing on their hands except whatever loose memories they have to remember me by. But I have a whole library to remember them. Just like there's no such thing as truth, there's no such thing as forgetting. And I hope at some juncture or in some capacity they think about me and they can at least smile about something and forgive me as I've forgiven them. To move on, you have to do that. And that's what I've chosen to do. I've chosen to move on with my existence and see where this road takes me.